Good morning. Welcome to the next vlog of Rock and Sky. So behind me is one of the most amazing landscapes on earth. It was written about by Penck. It was written about by Lester King. Davis might have written about it, but I'll have to check up on that. It's called the Great Escarpment. It's more commonly known as the Drakensberg, the Dragon's Mountains. Ukashlamba in the local vernacular. So it's this amazing precipice that drops from over 3,000 meters over this, I don't know, the edge of this plateau, the Great Escarpment. And yeah, the second highest waterfall on earth tumbles over the edge of this escarpment. It's at the Royal Natal National Park in Kwazulu-Natal in Southeast Africa. In fact, we went yesterday and walked right up to the gorge where the Tugela River tumbles off the edge of the escarpment. I'm trying to remember, 948 meters I think. Some people claim it's the highest waterfall on earth, others the second. I think, generally speaking, the second highest waterfall on earth. It's acknowledged to be. So we took a walk up the valley yesterday, and I'll show you some footage of that. The most amazing gorge with this crystal clear water cascading down these, I don't know, they're like chutes. You can't slide on them because the sandstone's so kind of rough, but an amazing geomorphological feature. So that was yesterday's walk, and hard work it was too, but we got here. We got there and we got back. Yeah, I thought I would show you this amazing geomorphological feature. So how did it form? Well, Gondwana, the supercontinent of Gondwana, began to break up about 180 million years ago, and that process ran for 60 million years until about 120 million years ago. The interior of Gondwana was at quite a high elevation, so no one's quite sure, but the point is, as the Atlantic Ocean opened up as a rift and the Indian Ocean opened up as a rift, there was a whole lot of faulting, just like in any rift valley, like the Great Rift Valley in East Africa. It's actually got fault-bounded edges which step down into what they call a graben, and then that can open up wider, and then ultimately becomes a seaway, and the ocean finds its way into that space, much like what's happening at the Red Sea today, and then eventually it formed the Indian Ocean. But those faults, if the interior, they estimate around 3,000 meters anyway, so the interior of Gondwana, 3,000 meters, and for that to get down to the rift, there were a whole lot of faults, and then obviously the ocean opened up. So this escarpment you see behind me, which you're looking at, that thing was actually a lot closer to the edge of what is now the Indian Ocean, and then there's been scarp retreat, and it's migrated back as the rivers have cut their way down to the Indian Ocean, which is obviously the base level. And now, what else can I tell you? There was subsequent uplift, and I've got some statistics which I need to look at in the book here. Before I go there, the average elevation of places around the world of similar geology is 400 meters. We're here in Southern Africa and Southeast Africa, East Africa, it's over 1,000 meters. So earth scientists everywhere are fascinated by this, because places like the Himalayas, the Alps, the Andes, those are active tectonic regions where we've got subduction, or we've got collision, and we've got mountains being thrown up. But here we don't have that. And so why are we sitting at this elevated position? And they talk about a thing called the African super swell, where we've got this huge globule, I don't know what word it is, globule, it's like a 2,000 kilometer diameter uplift, upwelling of magma in the Earth's mantle, which is actually causing the uplift of the crust, which firstly probably led to the breakup of Gondwana, and is currently keeping everything at a higher elevation, and led to subsequent uplift after the breakup of Gondwana. So I spoke briefly about what those figures were, and I'm just going to look at the stats now and I'll talk to you. Hold on a sec. Alright, so I've got a fantastic book. It's called Earth and Life. Earth and Life. If you live in Southern Africa, grab this book. If you don't live in Southern Africa, grab this book. It's stuffed full of amazing things. Southern Africa is quite a geomorphological hotspot. Lester King, the king of the plains, an Englishman who learnt his geology in New Zealand and came to South Africa and never left. I think he was completely and utterly blown away by the landscapes that he saw. And he came up with that theory of pediplanation as an alternative theory to Davis's theory of pennyplanation. So it was pediplanation, king of the plains, Lester King. He spent the majority of his life in Southern Africa looking at these amazing landscapes. So anyway, let me look in this book, and we've got some numbers here for you. That figure in Earth and Life, 9.1.4, talks about the uplift. Well, how Gondwana broke up, and then the subsequent uplift, and how the river, the drainage patterns of Southern Africa have changed due to all sorts of flexes in the Earth's crust. Alright, so here we are. Southern Africa experienced two major periods of uplift. The first around 20 million years ago, and the second about 5 million years ago. These accentuated the escarpment and the westward tilt of the interior land surface, giving rise to renewed erosion in the interior, forming the post-African 1 and 2 surfaces. So those are land surfaces, erosion surfaces that King came up with, and the erosion of deep valleys and gorges on the coastal plain. And where we are, they talk about a 600 to 900 meters of uplift over and above the elevated land surface that existed when Gondwana actually began to break up. And so here we have it. Behind me is this remnant, this amazing remnant, the Great Escarpment, that which all these famous geomorphologists of yore wrote about. And so I thought I would show you that. And I've got some pictures. We tried to get up and get a view of the Tugela Falls, but it's a long mare's tail of tumbling water. And so after hacking up that river valley and boulder hopping and tiring ourselves out, we couldn't get that view. And I wonder why, because I have seen it before from the bottom of the gorge. But that's going to have to be another expedition when we get up on the top of that plateau and go and see this cascade of tumbling water pouring off that 3,000 meter high plateau. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Alright, so I'm going to end it there. Please visit us at www.rockandsky.net. Alright, see you on the next one. Happy adventures and greetings from us all here at Rock and Sky.